And minimize this. All right, there is Miss Carmen. Can you see my spreadsheet?
Yes.
Good. Okay, well, just jump in here if you got questions, okay? It'll scare us to death because your voice will just come out of nowhere, but it'll scare us to death the first couple of times, but we'll make it. All right,
Okay.
so numbers are 17, 18, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Do everything. And then draw your curve when you're finished. I'll start off. I'm going to go ahead and do the mean for you so you can check that. So that's going to be our sum of all these numbers divided by 6. There's your mean. I'm going to give y'all a couple of minutes to at least get to the variance and the standard deviation. Using your calculators is fine if you're doing basic math. I don't want you using the statistics feature yet. We're going to show you how to do that later on. So I went by to get my truck's transmission adjusted. And now they found there was something wrong with it, so now I don't have a truck. Huh? I know. It's like my office. So now they got to replace the second band, second gear. Yeah, just come on in whenever. That's fine.
So sorry.
We don't have class, you know. Just come on in whenever. We're doing this problem on the board right here. 17, 18, 18, 19, 20, and 21. There's 6 numbers there. We're going to do everything. We just started about a minute or two ago. Everything is free. Everything is free. I went ahead and did the mean and the median so that way you can check your work, make sure you're doing it right, at least for the first 2 steps. Yep. I don't buy bread and milk. I buy beer and pizza. That's what I buy. Them DiGiorno stuffed crust pizzas, them things are dang on good. When you don't want to have to deal with Domino's or Papa John's.
Which one's your favorite?
I like the one that's come out lately, bacon and cheddar. That's good.
Combination's good.
Yeah, I like that one. My kids fuss. I don't like this. I like. Well, just pick it off. I don't teach my kids to be picky eaters. A dog will eat turnip greens after 2 or 3 days. After 2 or 3 days, they'll eat whatever's put in front of them. Well, I grew up in a house. Whatever your mama put in front of you, you ate. You didn't say a word. You said thank you. And she was one of those mamas that, Eddie Murphy talks about, take the shoe off and throw it at you. Boom, 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 boom. Come back and hit you. Yep. She was one of those. When she was sober. I do that. I took her to the doctor today. I had to take her to the doctor because I don't let her drive. Lord have mercy. She go like 25 miles an hour down Clemson Boulevard. So I took her to the doctor, and I walked her into the doctor's office, and he's a good friend of ours. And he said, well, how's she doing, Hubert? How's she doing? I said, well, she was sober 2 days this week. She don't drink. That's a joke. Sense of humor 101. Offering it right down the hall. That's the first step. Admitting there's a problem. That's the first step.
Have you admitted?
Oh, I got all kinds of problems. I admit them every day. I have a whole list.
So you don't blame on the Russian?
No. No, let's just quit. This is easy to quit. All you gotta do is draw. All right, what's the mode? 18, good job. At least you know you can get one right on this, right? Range equals what minus the what? Mid-range. Use the highest and the lowest, but you don't subtract them, you what?
I didn't mean to stab that.
You add them and divide by what?
2.
Good job. So y'all did listen. Fine. Need a water jug. Anybody got a gallon water jug I can use? Okay, so everybody should have those 5 numbers, without any trouble. I got a question. Okay, now we're going to go to the handy dandy formula for, I forgot all that stuff I pulled up and had ready. I forgot the dadgum whiteboard. Breathe, Hubert, back to the breath. There we go. All right, so I'm going to put your formula right over here, so you'll have it. And that is the variance is equal to the summation of x minus x bar, quantity squared, over n minus 1. I'll go ahead and calculate the n minus 1 for you. That will be 5. Aren't you impressed I did that without a calculator? Now you got to find this number right there. So I'm going, this is x. All these are x's. So this first column is going to be x minus x bar because I read my formula. And what do we do first? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. What do we do first? What's in the parentheses? Then we do the exponent. Then we do whatever's left outside the exponent, and that's adding because the summation is adding. So you don't get confused there. So over here, I'm going to take my handy dandy mouse, and I'm going to put equals this number minus this number. F4 for those that use Excel, that means lock it, and copy that down. And everybody should have those numbers. Miss Carmen, you still there?
Yes.
She's drinking. That's what she's doing. She's acting like she's doing something. Boy, she's doing is she comes over to the computer and speaks in the computer and goes back in the den and watch the movie. That's what she's doing. So I understand. All right. So what do we do next? X minus x bar squared and equals this number raised to the second power. And I'm going to copy that down. What does that do? It makes all the numbers what? Not negative, but positive. That's why you square it. And what does that little sigma mean? It's the 25 cent symbol for add them all up. Sigma means add them all up. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to hit summation and add all those up. And I'm going to color that some ugly color like that ugly, ugly push-up orange. Somebody's like, what's a push-up? It's your parents' fault. And I'm going to put it right there. And that is your numerator. So the variance is equal to this number divided by what? 5. So write that down. Now somebody tell me the relationship between the standard deviation and the variance. Square root. You take the square root of the variance, or you raise the variance to the 1/2 power or to the 0.5 power. And that's going to be equal to 2.16 raised to the 0.5 or the 1/2 power. And that is your standard deviation, 1.47. So now our curve is right here. So if I want to know who's normal, I just go to how many standard deviations? 2. Normal is right here. So 95% of the population is going to fall between 16 and what? 22. And these could be the average, these could be the ages of people in my classroom. Okay. What's outside of normal? Unusual. And what's outside of unusual? Your 6-foot second graders. Outliers. And you're done. Who's got a question? Now, on a scale from 1 to 10, that's about a 1 because it's only 6 numbers. So we're going to move up to 13. Now, the question this morning was asked of me. Hubert, there is a homework question that's got 50 numbers in it. Okay? I would tell you to hold off on it until you either know how to do it on this Excel spreadsheet or until you can do it on your calculator, because it'll be a whole lot easier. Okay? So when you come to that homework problem, just hold off on doing 50 problems, okay? There's no sense in you working yourself to death with 50 problems. That is I don't know why they put that problem in there. To me, that's silly. No one ever is going to ask you to do that by hand, okay? So I'm not going to ask you to do it by hand. So just wait until we do some more I'll show you how to take that problem and move it into Excel. So you don't have to type all those numbers in. I'll show you how to do that. And you can do your calculator. You put it in, I'll show you how to do that and not have to do all the hand stuff that we're doing right here. On a test, I'll give you up to 10 numbers, probably. I might give 15 because of the 5-number summary that we're going to learn today. But I can't give you a 5-number summary on 5 numbers. I can't give you a 5-number summary on 6 numbers, so that's defeating the purpose. So we're going to do a 5-number summary on this 13 one next. Okay, anybody got a question on that one? All right, then I'm going to move the spreadsheet up, and I want you to copy down the next problem. There is the next problem. Notice that n is 13, so it's odd. The first one was even, had 6. This one's odd. I want you to go through and I'll do the mean for you just so you can check your math. Ask a question if you got one. Don't ask about the 5-number summary because we're going to do that after we do the problem. How's your other classes coming? Those of you taking other classes. Okay. That was a sigh or a gasp or something.
We watched a weird movie
In what?
English class.
Who you got for English?
This Johnson. Amanda Johnson.
Oh.
We watched Birdman.
If I show a commercial, somebody complains in my class. But I guess you can show movies in the liberal arts majors. I guess you can. Science major is hard to. We can watch Back to the Future. No, that wouldn't go over very well. Okay, nobody's going to talk to me. I'll shut up. I must have made y'all mad. Y'all not talking to me tonight. Nothing. It's like I pissed off all these women or something. They give me the silent treatment. Oh, and that's their secret weapon. Oh my gosh. They love using that silent treatment. And let me tell you guys, you only got 3 in here. Don't ever, EVAH, don't ever think that the word fine means, okay, go ahead and do it. Don't ever do that. When a woman says fine, you just go in the bedroom and go to sleep. Because there ain't nothing you're going to do to fix it. There's a whole list of those things. There's about 10 of them. I can't ever find that list. If a woman says this, what does it really mean? And there's about 10 words. And fine does not mean go ahead and do what you want to do. Dang, nothing. It's like the Pendleton campus was last semester. Somebody asked me one time to explain the difference between men and women in one of my classes. I've got the explanation right here. I have to find it while y'all are working. I'm going to find it. Either one can't find the picture you want. That's not it. Oh well. I'll have to get back. I gotta find the picture. Can't find the picture I'm trying to get to. Oh well. There it is. That's a woman right there. Okay? Why is that a woman? Well, you got wires going 5 different places. You got wires going into the same wires. You got wires blown by a fuse. You got wires going nowhere. Okay? Now a man. You ready for the man? There's a man. Jumper cables. Now, a lot of y'all say, what's he talking about? Am I right? Yeah. Wiring is totally 150% different. Totally. Okay. Y'all finished? What's the mode? 21, 26. Range is the highest minus the what? Mid-range is equal to, parentheses, the highest plus the lowest, divided by what?
2.
And now we're going to do x minus x bar. This minus x bar, F4. And copy that down. And then equals this, quantity squared. Y'all gonna share with the class? I wanna know what y'all laughing about. Y'all ain't gonna share. Okay, that's fine. Be selfish. I remember that when I forced y'all to go eat with me. No. No, we got to wait till the last day of class when I force you to go with me. All right, so that's going to be 265 over what? I'm going to do that fast calculation. 12 minus 1 is 13. I meant 12 minus 1. 12. 13 minus 1 is 12. How about that? And then what is the square root of 22? Well, we'll find out. Equals this raised to the 0.5 power. Who's got a question? Now there's your curve down at the bottom. Draw your curve, no hiccups in class. Gotta lay off that sauce. Martinis are bad for you. Whoever it was, pick up. All right, so where is my Nobody's gonna talk to me tonight, so I might as well just talk to myself. Today must be bad female day or something. Y'all not even talking to me. Still not getting anything. 95% falls between 18 and 37. Unusual between 13 and 18, between 37 and 41, 42, and then outliers beyond 42 and below 13. Now, I'm going to show you something. Everybody in here knows how to read their fuel gauge, right? Yeah, I hope so. We're not going to talk to you tonight, Hubert, but yes, we know. That side is empty, and this side is what? Full. So that means this is what? Half. Half is the second percentile. Second quartile. We'll write that down. Second quartile. And it's also called the 50th what? Percentile. Okay, so what's right in here? What's right in there? What's between 0 and a half? A tank. Quarter of a tank. So this is a quarter. So this is your first what? Quartile. Because which way do we read?
Left to right.
Left to right. So that's your first quartile. It's also called the 25th what?
Percentile.
Good job. You're catching on to the pattern. Okay, here we go. What do you think that one's called? Third what? Third quartile. Or what? 75th percentile. Good job. And that's what these things are called. That's your first quartile, second quartile, and third quartile. Now when you're doing the 5-number summary, the only difference between this guy and this guy is you use the median with the 5-number summary. That's why I highlighted it yellow. Or yeller, depending on where you're from. Go ahead and highlight these again because those are the 3 you're going to look at to make sure that your numbers are coinciding. Jihad. If you don't know what jihad is, whose fault is it? Your parents. Anybody know what jihad means? Jihad is what you tell the mule when you're plowing. G means left, ha means right. When you're plowing and when you don't want to use the reins, you train the mule to go to your command. If he gets off to the left, you go ah, and he'll go to the right. Gets off to the right, you say G, and he'll go to the left. Mules are very smart. Mules are like horses. They're very smart. And that's what that means. Jihad is a term that's meant everything's what? Good. Okay? Okay? Everything's jihad. Everything's good. And Kenya. Shut up, you. All right. People on the news. We're gonna have a revolution. They don't even know how to start a damn lawnmower. But they know how to eat Tide Pods and snort condoms. And guess what the newest challenge is? To run your head into the back window of a car. That's the newest thing. So you just take a running start and try to break the passenger or the driver's side door window with your head. That's the newest thing. Why do they eat Tide Pods? My son's 12 years old. He was watching that, and he said, "Daddy, what would you do I looked over at him. He said, "You would beat me, wouldn't you?" I said, "Yes, I would." I would give him a whooping. And y'all all know there's a difference between a whipping and a whooping. Okay? A whipping is something your mama gives you. Okay? A whooping is something your daddy gives you. Okay? Or might be vice versa. Okay? If you're daddy's sweetheart, or if you got a grandmother and a mother, the mother does the whipping and the grandmother does the whooping. Okay? My house, it was daddy that gave the whooping. And he was an equal opportunity whooper, okay? He picked up anything, okay? Not he beat me or anything, DSS. He would just pick up a belt or he'd pick up a cow stick, but he hit the backside of my behind. Okay, cow stick or switch. He didn't throw with the switch. That was too much trouble. So he never did use the cattle prod. He never did use the electric cattle prod or anything like that. So, okay, nobody's going to talk to me, so I might as well just do that. Okay, so what's the first quartile? How do you find it? Well, the first quartile is between the men and the second quartile. So I go over here and I count. How many numbers are above that yellow 26 right there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how do you find the median of 6 numbers? You do the average of what? The middle what? 2. So I'm going to highlight that one. Some random color. That purple, you're not going to be able to see that. Let's go to more colors. And let's go with a kind of a fuchsia. How about that? Yeah, I know my colors, except for my feminine side. All right, so let's go with that. And equals, parentheses, this plus this. Mr. Poor, you all right? You going through DTs or something? What's the matter with you? Your head hurts? You got a brain freeze? Okay, you got to go easy on that ice, man. There we go. And let's go with these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got to take these two and average those together, and we'll color those. How about a peach? How about that? Peach. I think that's a peach. Equals, parentheses, this number plus this number divided by what?
2.
Man, y'all feel good about yourself. Now, what in the heck are we going to do with 5-number summary? Nope. You make a box plot. So I'm going to take my handy dandy eraser and I'm going to erase all this stuff. So I have room to do a box plot over here to the left. Over here. Now there's 2 stages to a box plot. The first stage is the number line. What makes up the number line? Well, I'm going to take my handy dandy, I'm running out of colors here. I'm going to take my handy dandy aqua pen and I'm going to highlight or circle what makes up the number line. So that makes up the number line. So I'm going to draw a number line right here. What do you think goes on the left-hand side?
21.
I'm amazed. What do you think goes on the right-hand side?
35.
And what do you think goes in the middle? 28. Now, I'm going to graduate this number line. So number 1, establish the number line. Number 2, graduate the number line. What does graduate mean? Not the cap and gown graduate. What does graduated cylinder mean?
Space it apart.
It's what?
Space it apart.
It's yes, in parts, yes. Okay? So how do you do that? Well, you keep finding the midpoint of the midpoint of the midpoint of the midpoint. It's called interpolation. You find the middle of the middle of the middle of the middle. What are you talking about, Hubert? Well, what's 21 plus 28? Or let's just say 20 plus 28. What's 20 plus 28? And what's half of 48? Boom, that's the middle. Now, if you want to do the decimals, that's fine. I'm not doing that. Okay? 28 plus 34 is what? 28 plus 34.
That's 35.
I know, but I'm rounding to 34 because I don't want to deal with decimals. So what's 28 plus 34? 62? Yes, Hubert, 62. What's half of 62? What's the matter? All right, now do it again. Let's find one more set. What's 21 plus 24? Or 20 plus 24? 44, half of 44 is what? It's a miracle. 24 plus 28, that's going to be easy. That's going to be what? 52? Well, not really, but we can do 24 plus 30. 24 plus 30 is what? 54? But you got to take those, it's still 52. So whatever you want to do. Half 52 is what? Hang on, 26 point, or 26.5 or 26? 26. 28 plus 30 is 58, or you can do 59, whichever you want to do. Half of 60 is what? 30, so it's around 29, somewhere around there. And then 31 plus 35 is what? 66. Half of 66 is. Now, how do you know when to stop? Whenever you want to stop. I'm stopping right now because I can't write between those numbers now. You do whatever you need to do. Now that you've drawn your number line, you're ready to locate your what? What's the whole purpose? What are we doing here? We're drawing a what? Box plot. So now you're ready to draw your box plot. What is the box plot? The only three numbers you haven't used yet. I'll circle them in red. So I'm going to take my handy dandy magenta my magenta pen, and I'm going to draw 23.5. Right in there. And then I'm going to take my peach color, whatever color that is. I don't have a peach color, so I'm going to use this burnt orange. And that's 31.5. And then the yeller, so y'all can complain about not seeing it, is going to be 26. Take my handy dandy black pen and I make my box. Now it's important for you to see what's going on here. Somebody tell me what the middle of my number line is. 28. So I'm going to draw a line right there. Because that's what we call what? Middle. Now what is everything in statistics compared to the what? It starts with a C. E. N. Center. Tendencies of center. Center tendencies. Everything is compared to the center. Now your center right there, not center, not S-I-N-N-E-R. Center. All right, everything is compared to the center. So here we are, the center is what? 28. Where is my box plot according to the center? That yellow line, where is it?
It's at 26.
It's at 26. So that means most of the data is on the left-hand side. If most of your data is on the left-hand side, what kind of distribution do you have? You have a skewed. If all the data is on the left, it's skewed what? Right. It's always the opposite. All your data is on the left, that means it's skewed right. Now we're going to talk about that on the next screen. Okay, I'm going to get a whiteboard. I'm going to show you the 2 or 3 different types of distributions you're going to have. Well, Hubert, I thought you said that 95%, I said 95% of the population. If 100 people jump out of an airplane, 95 of them are going to fall between 17 and 36, okay, or whatever the case may be. I'm just telling you that the population is going to fall between 17 and 36. Now I'm looking at the data. You know how we talked about how the data is tight? Okay, the data's tight because the numbers are close together, right? But is the data weighed equally?
No,
No, now we see that it's over toward what?
the left.
The left side. So most of your numbers up there at the top, they're leaning the numbers, they're weighting the numbers to the left, to the decreasing side, not the increasing side, or the low side, not the high side. Okay? So, what does that mean? Well, let's go to our handy dandy whiteboard and show you what that means. In statistics, you're going to have three types of distributions. You're going to have the normal distribution. And we're going to talk about this in regards to a test. This is called the Bell what? Curve. If you get this in a class, let's say you took a test in history, and the teacher gave you back the test and said the class average is blah, 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 and it's around 70. 70 is usually, 70 to 79 is usually right in here. Okay? And that's a normal curve. This means that the test is valid. The teacher went over the material. Teacher went over the material. And the students studied or the students listened. I'm just going to put students and I'm going to put a check mark, meaning they did what they were supposed to do. When that happens, the bell curve looks normal. Now you can apply this to anything. I'm just using it in a classroom because you're sitting in a classroom and you have done this test taking thing for the last 13 years. So you understand what I'm talking about. The next one looks like this. Where this is kind of like the middle. Now we just talked about this. This is what we call skewed right. Why is it skewed right? Because all the data is where? On the left of the center. Because everything is compared to the center in statistics. If it's skewed right, that means the test is hard because the test is not valid. And I'll get to that in just a minute. Or the teacher did not cover the material well. I'll just put cover and put next to it. And the students didn't what?
Study.
They didn't study or listen. So I'm just going to put study. And I'll put an X through it. How many of you have taken a class and the teacher gave you the test back and everybody made a 40 on it? Or everybody made a 30 on it? Or everybody made a 20 on it? They set the little kid up. Who was the guy on Grease? Eugene. Okay, Eugene sitting at the front makes 107 on it. Everybody else what? Fails. Why? Is everybody in the class stupid?
No.
No. Now, could the teacher have went to his filing cabinet or went to his computer at Tri-County? All our teachers go to the computer. Anyway, they go to the poster. Anyway, the whole thing is go to the filing cabinet and okay, there's chapter 6. Pull out chapter 6, but he pulled out chapter 6 in calculus instead of statistics. Could that happen? Yes. Would y'all sit there and be quiet about it? Hell to the no. Y'all would look at the second question, and what would y'all start saying?
What is this?
What is this? I ain't never seen this before. Okay? But could something happen to where the teacher puts out a non-valid test, meaning it's the wrong test, or it was a different book that they used 2 weeks ago? Is Carmen there? She sounds like she's vacuuming. Okay. What about the teacher covering the material? We used to have a teacher here, and he's retired, and he's a good guy. But he would teach X, Y, and Z in the classroom and give you A, B, and C on the test. And he didn't know he was doing it. He taught here for years. I never did take him. When I was a student, I dropped him like 3 times. Each semester I would get him and I'd drop him. So I finally got a teacher that was him. gonna have to mute her. Can you mute yours, Ms. Carmen? I guess she muted herself. I don't know. No, I still hear it. Hold on a second. Make sure y'all complain. I'm going to mute you, Miss Carmen, and if you got a question, just unmute yourself, okay? Yeah, she's vacuuming or something. She said, to hell with you, but I ain't got time for this. All right, so the teacher it could be a combination of what? All three, or to both, yes. Now, what's the opposite of skewed right?
Skewed left.
Skewed left. Oh, I can't do anything with you, Miss Judy. You are on the ball. You are impressed, aren't you? You know, we haven't had training on these things, haven't for 2 years. Haven't had the first training on them. That's why you see teachers that don't what?
No.
They don't use them. Skewed right, skewed left, looks like this. Where all the data is where? On the right, skewed left. Tell me what you think skewed left means. The test covers the material very well. The teacher did what? Teacher covered the material. And what?
The students passed.
The students passed. Or the students studied real hard. Okay? Now, a lot of people would say when you line all three of these up, you have an easy what?
Outcome.
An easy test or an easy outcome. So, it depends. Sometimes you get that with this. But the teacher went over the material, but he didn't cover the material, or she didn't cover all the material. Here, there's nothing to be left up. There's nothing to be left open. They covered every single topic from A to Z. The test covers everything from A to Z. The test covers everything that the teacher covered. And the students studied those notes that the teacher went over. Okay? So that's your three types of distribution. Question? Okay. Now, I got a surprise for you. I didn't know. I just want to see the clock. Okay. Right now, you've covered basically 3.1 through about 3.4. Somebody look at the outline. We covered 3.1 to 3.5. Huh? 3.1, 2, 4, and 5. I've just covered 5 number summary and box plots. So I just covered 3.5. Okay? Somewhere in there, I don't know where it is, but we've got to cover Z-scores. Okay? If somebody's got a book, you can look in those sections and tell me where you see the Z-scores. That's all I've got left to cover. Now, what do y'all need to do this weekend? Let's see, y'all come back Tuesday. Y'all need to do homework and start sending in questions. Okay? Because, guess what? If I don't have any questions to you, we're going to go into Z-score, and guess what's next?
Test.
The review and then the test. So if you want to slow this train down any, you might want to send some questions come Tuesday, and they better be legit. You better just not send, Mr. Power, you better not send 15 questions. Just sending them, okay? All right, who's got a question?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you kind of talked about it a little bit. What you had as the variance was just a little bit different than what I had because I did it on my calculator.
Yeah.
I kept all the places.
That, I don't know, I cannot tell you why that is. The only thing I can come up with is that the calculator is going to a specified number of digits and the spreadsheet is going like to 15 digits in the calculation, but you only see like 5 numbers, okay? That's the only thing I can come with. But the computer will ask you to round to the nearest tenth, and most of the time, those are going to match up.
There was a few of them
Mhm.
where like the third digit was like 5,
Mhm.
so I would have got the answer wrong compared to what you had. So
Okay.
that's the only reason.
Is that homework questions or
No, what we just did.
what we just did?
The
Okay.
big-
What I want you to do is I want you to work on the homework and send me a couple if it still does that.
Okay.
If it does, then we'll use it and see what happens, okay? But most of the time, the computer's going to ask you to round to the 10th, or maybe the 100th. And most of the time, with this rounding, you're probably talking about the 4th or the 5th place, aren't you?
I kept, the second time I kept all 6 digits because I was like, let me see what this will work out, because I figured, like you said, the Excel was just confusing, but,
Yeah.
you know, everything, so.
So where was it different? What number was different? The 4th or the 5th place, or the 2nd or the 3rd, or what?
The second, well, the third would, change the second,
Okay.
not on a lot of them.
They do put tolerances in the homework, and they put tolerances in the test questions.
Okay.
Like a .01 or a .1 tolerance. If it rounds to the 10th, it might give a .1 tolerance. So you can have .5, .6, and .4.
Okay.
So we'll work with that as we go. So make sure if you have 23.5 and you type in 23.5 on the homework and it says 23.6 is the answer and you get it wrong, send it to me and we'll go over it and see what's happening.
Okay.
Okay? Who else has got a question? Yes,
How
ma'am.
exactly did you get the answers to the first and second call? Did you
Oh.
get lost?
Let me go back.
I haven't watched the video, so I got lost.
Hold on. Let me go back. You talking about the x minus x bar? Okay, look right here, and I don't know if I can pull. You get it from the formula, all right? The formula says, hold on. Where's my whiteboard? There we go. There we go. The formula says, and I don't have the formula on this one, here it goes. The variance is equal to the summation of x minus x bar, quantity squared, over n minus 1. Now n minus 1, everybody can do that, except for Mr. Poor, he has to do it on a calculator. But we got 13 numbers here. 13 minus 1 is 12. So you can do that. That's going to be a 12 on the bottom. Okay? Now how do you get this? Well, each one of these are the x's. This is x of 1, x of 2, x of 3, x of 4, x of 5, and so on. All right? X bar is the what?
Me.
The mean. So each one, this first column, is going to be x minus x bar, which is this right here. Do the inside of the parentheses first. X minus x bar. So I took 21 and I subtracted 27. That gave me a negative 6. And blah, blah, blah. You do that all the way down. Then what do you do to the x minus x bar? Exponent. Please excuse. Do what's in the parentheses first, then excuse. You do the exponent, and that makes them all positive. So this is x minus x bar, quantity squared. And you square each one of them. And then what does this mean? Sum. You add them all up, and that's where I got this. So the numerator of your variance is 265.08. And that's how you get those columns. Does that help? Okay? You got to read, and I don't mean this, you got to read the formula. Variance is equal to the summation of x minus x bar, quantity squared, over n minus 1. And then you got to do these 3 columns right here. Well, this column is given. This is what I'm going to give you, or the book's going to give you. They're going to give you the numbers. And then you just have to do these 2. But you got to get the mean first. That's why I put the mean over here first. This is number 1. Okay? Who's got another question? Okay. Yes, ma'am. Where? Yeah, right here? Okay, what is this? It's green. So that's the mean. And then what do I do each on the right? I add the what? Standard deviation. 27 plus 4 is 31 or 32. 32 plus 4 is 36. You got to do the decimals. I'm not doing the decimals in my head. 36 plus 4 is what? Or 5 is 41. And then what you do on the right, you add. What do you do on the left? You subtract. So 27 minus 5 is 22. 22 minus 5 is 17 or 18. 18 minus 5 is 13. So you add on the right, you subtract on the left. Who else got a question? How are we feeling? We're going to do some more of these Tuesday if I get questions. If I don't get questions, we're going to jump into Z-scores and hopefully have a test in a week. Oh my God, I said a week. No, don't email me. I didn't say this week. I didn't say next week. I said within a week of next week, okay? Somebody's going to have a fit and call me and text me. And I thought, I missed a test. I thought we were going to have one next week. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. All right, who else got a question? Oh, yes, ma'am.
Could you explain standard deviation, how to find it?
How to find it? Okay, first you got to find the variance. Do you understand how we found the variance? Okay, the variance, the standard deviation, is the square root of the what? Variance. So you type in the let's say you can do it the old school way, 22.09 in your calculator, and then take the square root of it. I raise it to the 1/2 power or the 0.5 power. But you don't have to do that. You type in 22.06 and hit the square root button. Question? Okay, so this is what y'all need to be doing for homework. Y'all need to be working on chapter 3. Of course, you should already be finished with chapter 1 and chapter 2. You should be done. There should be nobody sending questions on that. All right? You should be working on chapter 3. Do not work on anything that has anything to do with the Z-score. We're going to cover that Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday of next week, okay? So don't work on anything Z-score unless you know what you're doing. If you do, knock yourself out. But I'm going to go over that next week. Anybody got questions? All right, y'all get out of here. I'm not taking the roll. I don't feel like doing it. Y'all get out of here. Have a good day. Good day, good weekend, good night, whatever. If you got any questions, come on up here. It's Miller time, but I'm not a beer drinker, so I guess it's what is it called? Woodfern? Just bourbon time. Make sure she makes it home all right, or makes it in the Mr. Ford. Make sure she makes it to her car all right. Yes, ma'am.
When you did the 26 here, did you include this one?
Hold on just 1 second. Let me do this right quick. Well, I don't want to record us talking, okay?